Today is June the 3rd, and today I want to talk to you about what is most important to me and why I do what I do. I'm a lawyer, and in my practice of law, I have done a number of things that solved problems that were given to me in a legal sense. I once represented a survivor of Auschwitz against those who denied the Holocaust, and we filed a case and won that case, and it was recognized that it was just simply a fact of history that the Holocaust occurred. But in doing that, I, in my own mind, was responding to a dream I had had a year before when I was in Jerusalem. And in that dream, I felt a drive that I had to represent the children of the Holocaust, because that was the greatest sin of all those who participated in that killing machine that was operated during World War II as they seek to atone for their sins, because the death and murder of those children was why I did the Holocaust case, and I argued in that case in the courts in Los Angeles. I asked, if it is true that this just simply never took place, then where are all of the children? That's what I asked. Where are the children? And I said they disappeared. An entire generation or more of children were murdered and slaughtered because they simply couldn't work, and they were just simply put to death. And that is the absolute fact of the matter. And from that was why I represented the children, not only just the Jewish children, but the gypsy children that were just simply put to death one day. And in all of that, in my practice of law, I have sought as best I can to define the meaning and use of the law as I was given particular problems to solve in a legal sense. And among the things that I did at or near the same time that I did the Holocaust case was that I filed a class action lawsuit directly in the United States Supreme Court on behalf of every citizen of the United States Supreme Court, saying that our government at that point in time was under the control of special interest groups and not the people of this country. And I asked as a remedy to be imposed by the court on the other two branches of government who were named as the defendants in that case, Jimmy Carter and the Congress. And I ask that we have as a remedy, that we have a national policy referendum, that we, if we're smart enough to pay taxes and to die in the wars that have to go into the operation of this country and this government, that we should at least have the right to vote on the most critical issues facing the country. Every 4 years when we vote for president, why aren't we given the 12 most critical questions, the true questions that this new president is going to have to address once this new president is in office and tries to assemble a government? And that was the argument I made at that time, and the court did not hear my petition, of course, but I'm told, I didn't see the article, that there was once an article that reviewed the 10 most interesting cases, that the court considered during that term. But, and to get on with the story, I suppose, that I undertook at that time something that I am here to discuss today. In other words, what brings me to this moment is the most important thing to me today are the children who are dying in these horrible wars that are being fought all over the world. All over the world is at war. We are at war because almost in every country and in every jurisdiction, the countries are armed and contending with neighbors around them or other political powers that dominate over them to respond militarily to all of the problems. And that's the destruction of the world. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. If we continue doing what we're doing militarily, we have no future as a humanity, because we will then be on a downslide from this moment that we are today. Because where we are today is a wonderful and magnificent, an incredible humanity to be a part of. But we have to look at this concept of war, and what it does is that it generates the manufacturer of weapons. And what it does is that when we address another country, such as, let's say, North Korea at the moment, and we are saying to North Korea that you either do what we tell you we're going to do, or we're going to attack you. We're just going to obliterate you. I mean, that's what we said, and after 9/11, we told Pakistan that they either supported us in all that we did, or we would just simply obliterate them. I mean, these are the kinds of threats that were made a crime against humanity at the end of World War II, because those who tried to organize the world politically, peacefully after World War II, looked at the idea that we had to have organization and peaceful means of rectifying the issues that arise between nations and people, and that occurred. And that is why I can sit here in Long Beach, California, taking a few minutes of my day before I go out and do all of the things that I, like everybody else, have to do in a day. I can take a few minutes and discuss with you what is most important to me. And I must say that it must be of the most importance to every single one of you who hear what I have to say, that war kills children. War kills children. And what I say today is that just as I represented the children of the Holocaust in the Holocaust case, and I've done other things that I've done in what some people call the adventures of Billy Jack, because the things I do are of interest to me. When I have a problem, it becomes of interest to me. For example, let's say you ask me questions about a range of things that are occurring. And I would probably mostly say, take a look at my books. What I've done is that whether it's China or Iran or political policy or the other things that could be of issue, as I have thought about these, almost as a Newtonian philosopher, as I think about problems, I look to see if there are reasonable solutions legally and practically. And I then write all of this out, and then I put it out of my head, and I really don't have to think about it all that much anymore. And I approach the things that I do from a matter of policy, that what we have to do is we have to take a big, broad view of things instead of just getting in at the moment without hesitation or thought and getting ourselves into more difficult situations than we're already in. With that, I want to say that I represent today, in my mind, let me start with the children of Gaza. Let me start with the children of Gaza and say at this moment that based upon everything I know, based upon every bit of scientific research that exists at this moment, the children of Gaza have an equal blood right to the ancient land of Israel as any other occupier of that nation today. That's just simply a fact, that by DNA evidence it can be clearly shown that the children of Palestine have the original blood right in Palestine and have been there occupying it ever since the destruction that occurred 2,000 years ago, and that nation ceased to exist at that point. But that said, the children of Gaza are but one. But what about the children of Iraq? The children of Iraq, we went to war against Iraq after we had mitigated to a certain extent the threat in Afghanistan, and we went to war against a nation on trumped-up evidence. It's a matter of history. It's acknowledged openly, even to this day, that and so therefore its consequences, and from that consequences is everything that's existing in the Middle East today. The entire Syrian war, where we are sitting there confronting a nuclear-armed, quote-unquote, enemy, Russia. Or why are we doing this? Why aren't we trying to solve problems today? Why must we inflame every single incident into being a warlike, bellicose response? It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all if we, the human beings that occupy the earth today, are all at one, a united and intertwined species that has as its essence our ability to think. I mean, look at around. This is the study I work in. These are the books I read. These are the thoughts I have, and in today's world, I'm able to share those with you. And, if you go to my personal website, if you look there, there's a lending library. All of my books are there and available. All of my articles are there. Many and most of my videos are there. It's my photographs that provide the slideshow at that website, and also the